Well, it is another week, and it is Wednesday, the best day of the week. And you are tuning in to America's premier toy podcast. This is Toy Box Chronicles, and I am your lovely, gorgeous, sexy host, as always, Chet Maddox, along with Alexander Thunderous Storm Goodfellow. How are you doing
Hey man,
tonight?
pumped. You know, it's another
Yeah.
Wednesday. We get to talk about some good stuff. And actually, I think something that is far way overlooked is that be careful, like the genie said to Aladdin, what you wish for.
Be careful what you wish for. Indeed. Look, it has been a busy few weeks. It's going to be a crazy month for us here over at Vault 9 Media. And more importantly, we have a lot to talk about, like the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. It's Mighty Morphin Shelfing time. And, are you pre-ordering too much? Is everything too big? What are you going to do when you run out of space and they come running for you? And all of that and more as you stay tuned to the world's best toy podcast ever to exist in the history of mankind. This is Toy Box Chronicles. And we're back. And hey, look, we are excited for tonight because I think that shelf space talk is something that a lot of people don't do, but we do have some information on pre-orders and pushbacks and early releases. But how is your room and your wallet been over the last couple of weeks?
Well, you know what? Before we even get into that, one of our
Oh,
buddies over at Sarlacc had a procedure done today. Want to wish the best to Mr. Scott Solo. I know he's at home
yes,
resting,
sir.
but our thoughts and our prayers were with you, brother. So, always want to make sure that when one of our brothers kind of, goes down and has a procedure and everything, we acknowledge it out there because we are a unified family here. So, love those
And
guys over at Sarlacc.
that is right. And then also, since we're talking about the family,
Mhm.
let's point out something here from the fan bag. But Mr. Commander Bly has been a member for
Yes,
5 months, and we appreciate you, sir. And I don't think we still have heard from you yet on what shirt you want from holygrailtoys.com. So we're going to need to know what that is as a celebration for your 5 months. Mr. Meeks, what is happening? And then at the beginning of this, if you guys scroll up and look, there's a battle between who says what, and that is Commander Bly saying good evening, gents, and then Moocher getting upset, but then Commander Bly decides to say first, and then Moocher's okay with that.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
welcome everybody in. It's good to see you. We also have Dr. Brentley. Good evening. Hey, wait a minute. What are we waiting for? And
He
then
said something about Dr. Brentley wasn't here or something. He had to
yeah,
check in.
yeah, he's not here yet. And then we got Patty of the Atkins. Welcome back, Chet. Hello, welcome in, Patty of the Atkins. But yeah, this is going to be a very very interesting show, especially with comments like this about Scott Solo
Nice.
surgery.
Bro, you don't need to kind of like let
His
his business out like that, man. Come on, man. What's going on?
That's a little awkward, but hey, Moocher would know
Hey,
over anybody
hey,
else. So
each
that
his
is
own. We don't judge here.
yeah, no judging, but also maybe a little bit of judging. Yeah, so what is your what are I know we have a lot we need to tackle, but just before we get into that, walk me through how you're feeling right now. We've been hit with a lot, we've
Yeah.
lost a lot. Like what are your thoughts on the current state?
Well, been to about 25 Walmart, still can't find crystal balls. So that's still disparaging.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm almost getting on the point of driving to Northern California at this point because nothing's in Southern California at all. So that's a shame. Other than that, there, ups and downs, man. There've been a lot of classified releases, a lot of stuff. Well, Hasbro has a notorious thing from always bumping something up early.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what's happened. Is like a lot of stuff they're saying is supposed to be a month away is coming a month early. So that's kind of been hitting it too. So it's like unexpected. I think that they somehow need to have like a 2 week prior warning that they drop and say, hey, this may be coming soon, and alert your wallets instead of saying like, hey, this order's coming or this order's not. And it's just, if it's coming, they've already said they'll do something like, oh, it's supposed to be on the 7th. And they're telling you on like the 6th.
Yeah.
So, that's been the murder factory right here. But again, these are first world problems, man.
They are. Well, in my ever loving quest, I had ventured out about 150, 200 miles away from us. As a reminder, Moocher, I know that you said you wanted to trade something for this. I do have 2 of these bad boys, so I'm not sending them back. So we're keeping those. But when I was searching, I did find some stuff that I don't know if anybody watching is interested in grabbing these from me, if I should keep them, but I know I've heard a lot of people talk about them across the channels. I did find this. So I did find one of these.
Okay.
So if anyone wants a night trooper, I have that. One of my favorite ones, I don't know if I'm going to keep it, but I did find this as well.
Seen those pop up lately too.
Yep. So there's that if you want that. And then also I did get this. I'm still debating if I'm going to open this or not, but it was there and I got a discount because the tag was ripped. So
yeah, like I said again, we might as well just back the truck up to Moocher's house for all the Star Wars stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. And our purchases around paychecks. No, you can't really plan around paychecks because by the time they're telling you, man, your paycheck is already gone. That's the worst part about that.
That's it. Yeah. It's you could plan around.
I told you. I need that Black Series witch, so he's knowing Mooch. And
wait, I don't have to wait. The Black Series witch. I didn't.
No, I've seen that one. I think that's a Ventress that they've done, and that one I haven't seen in the stores yet. But that's interesting. Look, the holiday ones. Here's the thing, man. I'm gonna save that for the Sarlacc toy chest on Monday. We can just discuss that. So Mooch, write that down right there. We'll talk about these holiday ones. I got a soapbox to stand on these holiday ones.
Yeah, I agree. I want to hear that.
Commander Blythe said nice finds though, man.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Yeah, I'm debating on keeping them or not. I don't know. I probably will. I was definitely excited to find the Night Trooper. So that was cool. But I do know that a lot of people were looking for stuff and it's hard to find. So if you want to buy it from me, it's just retail price. I don't gouge unless I need to, but nobody watches us. So hey man, look, we've got a lot we got to talk about, and we're gonna kick it off with the Shelf Space Dilemma, a new series by your boys over here at Box Chronicles family. And I think this is a topic that a lot of people have found it interesting to talk about, because not the issue that's happening now with shelf space, while it is 6-inch figures, we are getting into a lot of people producing a lot of vehicles for 6-inch figures. And that is where the dilemma is coming into play. And we are going to get all about it. Before we do you feel like you have to now buy another bookcase to start storing all your vehicles?
Yeah. Well, man, like I said, again, the hardest part about, I think, again, it's like, be careful what you ask for, because we did ask for, hey, we want vehicles to go with our 6-inch figures, and even some of the 3 3/4. Look, if you've seen that Ghost, which it's not just 1/12, it's also 1/18 on this scale too, because they've been dropping a lot of big vehicles. So, I really did kind of want the vehicles. I think it got to the point where when the Rattler came in, it was one of those moments like, what did I do now? Hold on. Because the sheer size, even though we saw it in San Diego and it was under display, something about when you need to put it in your shelf, you're like, oh, okay, now I think we're running into problems. So, like, there's got to be a massive overhaul for the office here. And I know you were talking about the same thing, where it's like, you're going to have to fit things around and just look at different ways. And it's not just also the shelf space when it comes to vehicles. It's like helmets, it's accessory pieces. We started like, just going down the rabbit hole of some of these Hot Wheels and the die-cast stuff. Like,
Yeah.
I think we put ourselves into a different scenario that we didn't need to do. What's up, C Director? What's up, fellow? Shelf space is what I'm currently trying to figure out to fit more crap and everything. I feel you, sir. Yeah, the reality hits at the 112 just might be very limited need these days for price and space. He's got it. And
I think the answer, Commander Bly, on this one, you'll probably be able to keep it with Hasbro based on the speed that it's funding.
Well, here's the thing. Also, Bly, you have the Ghost as well, as it just Tommy that has the Ghost? Because if you have the Ghost and then you have this and then you got the Razor Crest and everything, you're running into the class. Oh no! Well, if you got the Sail Barge, you already ran into this. Because that thing is basically like just looking at the box at Frankenstein's.
Just put it on the floor.
Yeah, just looking at the box of when we were at Frankenstein's, I was like, the box is huge. No, Tommy has to go. Still right. So okay, yeah. So you still have some room, but wow, man, it's getting crazy. But you know what? Again, these are problems we wanted, and now we be careful what you ask for, because now we've got it. So. Let's roll in. I think it's appropriate that we have to start off, because the shelf space dilemma, ladies and gentlemen, this is like a court. We're going to assign blame tonight. So we're going to put our cases. Absolutely. Yep. We're absolutely running and everything. We're actually prosecuting these companies tonight. And we're going to let you know some of the bad contributors that has the blame. But one company had to start it all, bro. One company had to start it all. And we'll roll that into the first one that every time you see this, you're like, yep, these guys did it. It's Hasbro. The beginning of the end. We did not know this in the 80s, but this playset right here was going to change everything that we had ever thought about, man. And I got to tell you, I did not personally have this, but I've seen this at numerous conventions. And yeah, if you thought you were having a shelf space problem, then I don't even know, most people didn't even put those on shelves. That was like floor space at that point.
It's literally, like they had to literally advertise it on the floor.
On the floor. And see, the direction is bad as if it was the Titan class transformer on the shelf. Oh yeah. And then I thought I think it's Metroplex. Somebody has like Metroplex is the size of a child or something.
Yeah.
Like this thing, I was like, oh man, so. And then, of course, if you had the dreaded Unicron, which is a problem that you want to have anyways, but if you did have them, so. But no, we're going to start off, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. We're going to blame Hasbro for starting this off. And if you did have it, put that in the comment. We'd love to know if you did have this as a kid. And it says that's not a play set. That's a mini personal boat. I've seen people put these on pontoons and actually float it in pools.
Yeah.
And I don't know why Hasbro just didn't think of that, because back then they made things functional. And, maybe they're thinking about, we don't have the point. Somebody drowning or something with the thing. We don't be held to the class.
I don't know, but it's wild to even see this picture, even though you've seen this in real life. Some people have, maybe some haven't. But it's also crazy because you know how big these vehicles are that are sitting on it.
Yes. And that's what's crazy about it. But this is a precursor to everything and all the problems that we're going through right now. And then we've got to drop it in for our next corporate on the list right here. Well, there was the thing that started off this whole crowdfunding stage and everything. And yet when we saw it, we were all impressed by it. And people started going out and buying it in droves. This thing funded like no tomorrow. Everybody was amazed, except for the people at UPS and over at FedEx. That's the point where back problems started happening due to collecting for all of our postal delivery individuals. But the barge, if you've ever seen this in person, it's massive, it's wonderful, highly detailed. But everybody said the minute they got it, where am I putting this thing? My childhood friend have all the Joe vehicle sets, including the Flagg. We can only play with it in his backyard. Yes, sir, Mr. Bly. You can. There's no other space but the backyard to put that thing in, because you put it in the house, somebody's taking the bed. Like that's like a like a full-size bed being pulled out right
I'm
there.
so with Commander Bly on this. I always wish my parents would get divorced because that seemed like the hack to get all the coolest toys. It literally was the hack.
It was. It's like, if you loved me more than mom, you buy me the flag.
Yeah. Mom said that you weren't going to buy it and she's going to go buy it today.
Yeah, exactly. Mom's brand new boyfriend said he's getting it. Oh no. You were really, these children now would have all kind of stuff though. They would send TikTok videos and crap. Like, thank God they've only gotten less intelligent over the years. So
I have a question really quick, actually.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so we have talked many times about Hasbro doing the Flagg 1/12 scale.
Yeah.
But if Hasbro released a HasLab for the Flagg at 1/18 scale, would you back it?
At 1/18?
Yeah. Same size. Like just a
reissue. If they just look, I'm surprised they just haven't done it, reissued it, remodernized it a little bit. It's absolutely
like lights, everything. Yeah.
Like, well, no, it doesn't need to have lights, but if they maybe added like, modular shelving to it and added like it made it look like the actual was like a boat area that you could take off, same way they did like the barge. Oh hell yeah, I'm backing that. And like I said, in fact, and everything, so that I'll be talking to some of the loan sharks I know to make their money if I can't find it. I might back to those damn things.
I got you.
But yeah, I would. 1/18th, 1/12th. Yeah, I'm most definitely doing that, man.
Commander Bly just going for it.
Yeah, he's working stream-driven catapult system. Yeah, I want to work a stream. Look, I look. That would be amazing. I'm surprised because that would fund I Know in a day. If you did the USS Flagg and you put that up as a HasLab and said, "Look, it's not the same flag you had as a kid. It's going to be updated. We're adding all these new features. It comes with keyhole and a couple other different characters." And they're saying, we're not even going to run it through a stupid bunch of tiers. This is just what we're offering. The end of the 24 hours. It is backed and it's guaranteed. And I'm telling you, there would be people that would probably buy 2 of them. It would definitely happen. And Bly is asking a question, which says, actually, what would be the price point? Shit, at this point, it could be $1,500, bro. I'm buying it. They can charge what they want.
I don't think it would be.
I don't think it would be.
I think the price point on that would probably be about $550.
See, I don't know because they got the gunship out right now, and they're charging $499 for that, and that's not even a third of the size of this thing. So I've got a feeling that it's going to get like Cat's layer size, like $750, $799. I think it hits that category. We'll see.
But the reason why I put it at $550 is they already have the molds.
Well, but or do they? We're assuming they have the molds. That whole mass thing didn't go.
And like Commander Bly said, there's no licensing fees.
True, and that's why they would charge everything. No. Look, it would be it's the biggest cash grab I think you could get in the industry. I don't think there's another vehicle that you could just instantaneously print it and you were printing money on top of money. But he has a very good point about that. But we move on from the modern shelf destroyer, which is the Jabba's barge. We move on to like this one. I know, Darth Moocher's probably crushing some of this. We know Commander Bly is probably doing this right now. And actually, if you want to do me a favor and actually pull up what the lat is actually going for right now.
Yeah.
Let's see, because we checked it this morning, but let's do a price because, hey, we want to back it. Definitely.
We have 5 days, and it's at 4,391 backers.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Well, we know our buddy over at Blitz Transmission, Tommy, has actually championed this through. And one of the best things, if you tune in on Monday, I will be over at the Sarlacc toy chest with Darth Moocher and Tommy. Hopefully, Scott be recovered by then. But that is actually one of the last days to push it. So that Monday, we'll be seeing if it funds. And if it doesn't, well, Tommy's going to take a flamethrower to the collecting world because it definitely has to do it, man. And Mooch also threw up the numbers to 49.30 or 43.91. This is, look, it's gonna fund. Let's just, we said the same thing about Snowcat. Girl, you look good once you pack that. Yep. Thank you, Coretta Bly, for the 199. I don't know if that quite comment will work as well, but maybe a little past dated. But look, if you got the Razor's Crest, you were pissed because it got blown up before you got it.
That was so messed up. That was one of the most messed up things I've ever seen happen in my life. And I love the Razor Crest. And then when everyone's like, "Oh, I got the Razor Crest," and they're like, "Yeah, it blew up," so I was like, "Whoa, that sucks."
Yeah, but you know what would have been smart is if the next week they would have came out with like the Naboo Starfighter. He just started a brand new campaign. It just would have been so all the people that have the Razor Crest and upset about this, guess what? Now you can, that would have been a perfect time. But that was the 80s, that's how they would have done it. But they had to let some months go by, let people shot go. The Ghost was amazing seeing that in person. That, look, I thought like in the 80s when somebody got the Millennium Falcon, you were like, wow, that was detailed. That was the Ghost reshaped all that. That's okay. He gets the new one in the upcoming movie. Well, we'll see. We'll see how long that lasts.
It's gonna blow it up right after it. Yeah.
But the Ghost, great vehicle, huge vehicle. I know a couple of people that bought 2 of these things, and the box was huge. And
I like the Ghost. I was sad that I didn't do the Ghost. I do like the Ghost. It's a good vehicle.
I like Rebels as a show.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was like, and I didn't put this on, but it was the Ghost is kind of like the same thing I thought of like McFarlane and that crazy Batwing from The Flash, the one you have to mount on the wall. Like, that's like, you definitely have to have a room devoted to that. That's not something that you could just pack in and put on top of a shelf. Not that. And actually, Tommy told me that Commander Bly was building a coffee top table, kind of like, where it was put in glass and everything. So, again, if you haven't seen his masterfully work that he's been doing with his customizable hats, you definitely check Commander Bly. Put your Instagram in there, so we can drum up some sales for you, because you're definitely going to want these. Believe me, you're going to walk around a convention with one of his hats on. I can tell you that. So, we'll find out in a couple of days if this is going to back. But if it is, the Star Wars guys are going to show up. But guess what, though? That is not the absolute thing that will stop them, because they've had this dilemma before. And if you were into the Black Series, a lot of people have totally forgot about this because it was kind of early in the run. But, you've got some pretty big, the Black Series Star Wars vehicles and characters. I've seen the Snowspeeder. You've you said that you actually picked this up from Mooch, the TIE Fighter. I haven't seen it, but I can only imagine how huge that thing would be, man.
I mean, the box is massive, so we'll see how rad it is. In all honesty, I think the Lat has more play value than the Ghost. I would agree with that. After seeing the Ghost at San Diego Comic-Con, it's definitely got play value for sure.
Yeah. We'll throw this up too. That's Commander Bly's. If you want to go take a look at that again, some of his craftsmanship, you want to go there and check it out, because these hats are amazing. Actually, Tommy was wearing it on the last the toy chest, so check it out. And actually, chances are he'll probably be wearing it on Monday too, so you get a chance to see it. But yeah, these are great vehicles. Not as detailed. This was in the early days, so they didn't really not like you see the attention and detail that they're putting into like the classified line and things like that. So, hopefully when I've heard there are rumors that they may be thinking about some Black Series vehicles, I know myself and Moocher definitely would like to see more stuff through that line of it. We'll see where it goes. From there, this, I think, is the line that has set the bar. And I think it's actually more than Star Wars, probably destroyed more shelf space than anything else. But this is one that they're pushing. And look, we saw the Hisk. Great vehicle. Wasn't that big of a vehicle, but it was a good size, not crazy. Dragonfly came next. You were like, wow, okay, this is pretty good. You're still able to put that on a shelf. Rattler drops, and the minute you take it out of the box, you're like, oh no, wait a minute. This is not a shelf space scenario. And then we've seen the Snowcat, and you look, if you're having a hard time like I do, I have the Vamp and then also have the Stinger. They don't fit on the shelf quite as well. the Snowcat's going to even be harder to get on the shelf. So look, I say, look, all of these have all backed. All the tiers have all backed. So far, they've got the momentum on their side, although the Snowcat slowed down a little bit more than it necessarily did from all the others, but it still did well. I can only imagine what they're going to do next year because, I think especially with the slow run of Snowcat, they've got to do something to grab fandom. So you need to have a vehicle that's going to be like what the entire G.I. Joe collecting world wants to see. So I can only imagine what that's going to be, but it's probably going to be huge, man.
What they need to do is not do 2 HasLabs again.
No, I hope they wouldn't. I hope they learned their lesson, and I think that really slowed it down, and it really hurt what people were thinking. And said that the rally on the last day for the Snowcat was impressive. It was, and I think that's the same rally that you're going to need for the gunship, man. It's definitely going to need that same one as well. You said Thunder Machine calling. I don't think it's a Thunder Machine because I think you can put that at retail. That's a little bit bigger than the Stinger Mooch, so I don't think it's going to be that. I've got a feeling it's something they're going to have to wow somebody. Look, I'm putting it on the table. I think they're going to go something crazy like the Killer Whale. I think they're going to have to do something to bring fandom in. They're going to have to give them something that, we're going to see. Amen. Don't run concurrent HasLabs. Yes. And that screws fandom up too, because you had people within G.I. Joe that were like, complaining and really upset. And then you had the same overreach with, it was a PR disaster for Hasbro because everyone, it seemed like the major lines you had, everyone was kind of upset. So they're definitely going to do that. He says, I think they will go smaller this time, a little cheaper. I don't know because, we're looking at a $4.99 right now gunship. I don't know if they will, because, we can talk about this a little later, but, it did kind of make a push up for figures went up this week. And we were always talking about the $30 figures. Figures went up. So I don't know if cheaper and smaller is the point. I would like to see that, but we'll see. So run through we run through G.I. Joe and our corporate on the shelves. And of course, I have 3 out of these 4. I did not back the Snowcat. And, I somehow down the line, I'll figure out if I want it or not. But it's not, at that moment, it didn't seem that necessary. Then we roll into, and we're not experts on this. We're starting to work our way in, starting to do a little bit more research. But when you think of things and you think of huge things and things that destroy entire shelf space, it would be the play sets of Motu. The whole Masters of the Universe. That Eternia playset was probably the biggest damn thing I've seen outside of that Cat Slayer, man.
Yeah, so massive.
The Snake Mountain and the actually the Snake Layer, which actually did fund. It did not hit all of its goals, but it did fund. Those are kind of like Castle Grayskull-ish. They're big, but they don't take up a crazy amount of space, But Eternia, yes, they gave it a proper name. I'm happy that the numbers show adult collectors have taken the market lead, but now I'm worried that the bean counters and the suits that smell blood and water, and now everything will be 100 plus. He's got a very good point about that. People are selling that Eternia a playset for almost cost these days, just too big. Yeah, that's the one thing. I don't think that, and I've seen the same thing for the Cat Slayer. The Cat Slayer is great and it's huge, but people that are reselling, it's like, I just need the space to get this out.
Even if you didn't open it, you got to get space in your garage or wherever you're keeping it.
Yeah.
It's not like the box is small.
Mm-hmm.
So like it's I think that's a problem is like I look, my thing on this is like if you're Motu guy, girl, whatever, that's fine. But I just think that Mattel should probably start opening up and tapping into another line that they own because I think Motu's getting to the point where it's like, eh. But I mean, I could be wrong, but it's like I think if you look with the latest Mattel creations, it's like they barely hit the goal. So
yeah, and also I don't know where they go from the whole unless they're going to start making new castles, new scenarios, and new thoughts on that. They're going to really have to expand the lore a little bit because they have
that movie though. The movie coming out, they'll be able to tap into a little bit.
A little bit. We'll see how that goes as well, and hopefully, maybe that might actually give them the uptick because that the Barbie movie did uptick that line for them. So maybe the He-Man movie will do the same thing. We'll have to wait and see. For so Motu fans, we hear you. We've got you, and we know you guys are hitting that shelf space dilemma as well. I have all the Motu origins. I passed on the Return to Play. Said just do it. Yeah, I understand. From there, here is the guy that I think has, in the last 3 years, has wreaked more havoc on your shelf space than anyone else. And the jury is actually deliberating on his charges right now. That's Mr. Todd McFarlane, because you can look within just the last almost 2 years and look at the amount of Batmobiles. And this is not, like I said, again, you're missing the Flash and that giant Batwing that he did that was on the Mattel creation, or I'm sorry, on the McFarlane ToyStory.com exclusive. But
was that Batwing a drawing board, or was that just a release?
No, that was just a release. But
okay.
It was just the McFarlane store exclusive, though. You can only
but it wasn't like, I couldn't remember if that was drawing board or not.
No, that wasn't drawing. He didn't crowdfund that one.
Okay.
But when you look at that, the '89 Batmobile, they had two different versions of it too. Which he had the standard version that had the canopy that was messed up. He did this one that was toward the one with Michael Keaton to look traditional with the matte black look. He's done the 66 version. He is doing another 60 because the original 66 version was a poor version of it. So he's doing
the original one, right? Like it wasn't big enough, right?
It wasn't big enough. It's way undersized. It feels real plastic. But the new one that he's doing right now, it's going to have lights and it's supposed to be a little bit larger. So, and that's again, he's sliding into home base here because he doesn't have a lot of time. But I think we still got 4 more Batmobiles coming.
Out of all these, I really do just want 89 in the black tumbler. I like all of the other ones. I think they're fantastic. The Batman Beyond one is awesome. I just, I don't have a Batman Beyond figure. You have, I think, all of these. And
I don't have the tumblers,
and you don't have the white.
And which one? Oh, yeah, the White Knight. And I since I have the Kenner version of the Batman Forever, I didn't know about double dipping on that one, but I did purchase the drawing board, just the Batman Superman version of it. So, and I've got the Mattel version of the Batman bout. It's the RC version, and I think that's probably the McFarlane one. I've seen it; it looks great. It's just that I think the RC version is a little bit better if you can end up spending the money on that, because you can readily find that still available. But yeah, and he's got a couple more that's coming out. He hasn't done. I know he's also done the Mo Beast from the death metal version that he did, which was really cool. So I give him credit, man. He's done a great job, but he's dropped a whole bunch of crap in the last 2 years.
Yeah, Meeks, this is the one that I want to get with the Lucius Fox figure is like one of my favorite figures.
And did they not do Morgan Freeman justice on that one?
No, they did. It's a really well done figure. It's unfortunate that you have to get it with the Batmobile, but
yeah. But you never know. At the end of the run, Lucius Fox might be hitting himself by himself. He's got inventory he may have to get rid of, so you never know where.
Did McFarlane do a Batman '89 Alfred?
He did not an '89 version, but he did do. I think it's a Batman and Robin one. There's one of them. Oh no, it comes with the Batman Forever Batmobile. There's one that has the lights and sounds, and then there's one that's a glow in the dark. And I think the glow in the dark one comes with Alfred. So it's the Val Kilmer version. It's still same Alfred, but it's just Val Kilmer's film. So from there we jump in. So thank you, Mr. Todd McFarlane. Thank you for and continuing to do that. And again, we didn't put some bat wings and some other stuff. He's also got an '89 version of the Batwing that's coming as well. So he's, McFarlane's he's hit that license at the end. I got to give my man credit. Like, I didn't know you could make that many toys in this amount of time. So from there, jury's out on Marvel Legends, because they started the big figure craze.
They did.
It all started with your man, and like I said again, you know who he is, Galactus. Look, great figure. I was
I
like,
Dude,
wow,
I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. The Galactus figure has to be one of my favorite action figures.
yeah. And if
I
you've ever seen the box and everything,
Yeah.
it equally represents the character as well.
Yeah, and then the Sentinel, I do yes, I do have Galactus Meeks, thank you. I do like this Sentinel that they did, the HasLab.
Yeah.
I think the most pointless one was Giant Man. But I do like this HasLab Sentinel. But I mostly, to be honest with you, I did want that Sentinel for Sentinel Prime and the other Sentinels that came with it.
Yeah.
So I ended up just buying those other Sentinels separate from whatnot. But
Well, here's the thing that I got about the Giant Man. If there's ever a more controversial character to pick, it was that character with his backstory line and everything. I was in shock that they actually did that figure. So I'm like, just right there, it's like, okay, maybe Marvel every now and then is like, hey, we don't care. Really surprised didn't pick up the popcorn bucket.
You could ask Mr. Storm.
Yep.
I was trying to pick it up, but like the sale for it now is just I'm not interested. It's a great bucket. I would definitely grab it if I could have got it at retail, but
and also here's the thing, and that retail was $80.
Yeah.
That was at retail.
89, yeah.
And also you gotta think, like, again, giant head, you never put popcorn in it. So but now we've got the X-Men 97 Sentinel that actually will be coming out in a little while. So again, are they done with the big figures? Is there any other big figures they could do?
They could do. I mean, they could do more. They could do Ursham, but I don't know. I don't think that they would do Ursham. The only reason why I don't think that they can really do. Look, the only other one you have in this run would be Fin Fang Foom, and that one would sell out faster than anything. But here's my issue with it is, like, if you just look on the left here, you have 24, 26, and 32.
Yeah.
Now they stated that Galactus is going to be the biggest in the line, right? So they stated that. So where do you put Fin Fang Foom here? Like in between Galactus and Sentinel? Mm-hmm. So he's like Apache Chief.
I'll point that out. That's DC, sir. McFarlane still has a little time. He might be able to get this.
Yeah. But so I think if they did Fin Fang Foom, he would have to be 30.
He would have to be in between like the Sentinel and Galactus if they've stated that.
Because remember, they just did Dragon Man.
They did
at proper scale, and he's 10 inches, which Fin Fang Foom would have to be bigger than that. So if you're tapping, but then that's what I'm saying. Like, they could do one more level up, like Airsham, but like, I mean, what do you do for a Celestial that big?
Yeah, true.
So
it is kind of like, it's kind of shocking when you kind of look at it as well, because you're like, well, what are you really kind of doing? It's like, are you just big figures? I understand that they tried to do the Engine of Vengeance with that and didn't quite work out for them. So you're just kind of wondering, what is the next play for them when it comes to Marvel Legends? I thought they would do, like, maybe have the Fantastic Four and the Fantastic Four car, since the movie was coming, and they didn't do that. So, interesting enough, I'm always shocked about, like, what are they doing? What are they thinking? What's their play on when it comes to all these different, like, vehicles and everything. The Marvel Legends team is harder to nail down than any other team. I will tell you that, So, we'll move on from the Marvel Legends, but they've got some do, because look, those big figures, let's be honest, you cannot put those on the shelf unless they're the top shelf. So, that's a killer right there, or on the floor, and you don't want to put, we'll spend money on Galactus and have them on floor level.
Well, I mean, like, if you look,
yeah, he has to be on the top shelf. Yeah,
Yeah, don't look at it too much though, because I haven't organized it yet. So
Yeah, we're still running through that. So now that we've gotten out and look, there's some other bad contributors out here that's killed our shelf life, and we'll move right into it and everything. And I think it's the independents. Yes, because while the main competitors have done this, the independents have actually started dropping in and started doing their things. And our good friend Ace over at Ramen Toys, we love him. He came out with the Ramen Racer, loved the vehicle. Then he had to start doing tanks.
well, no, remember he did Ramen Racer, then he did Vans.
Yep, then he advanced. He's doing tanks now. These tanks are going to be hitting before the end of the year. And he had to do something where it was the bridge layer. And then there was one that was supposed to be similar to the Wolverine. So he did different attachments. These are all modular. Very well. If you don't want something, you actually don't have to purchase it, which is kind of cool about it. But, you saw this at Joe Atlanta last year. And you know just how big that bridge layer is. And I underestimated that when I ordered that as well, man.
Yeah, I mean it's massive, man. I like it's. Fortunately, I will say this. Fortunately, it's not exactly to scale, but it might as well be because it is. When I say it's not exactly to scale, it's a little bit smaller, but
well,
yeah,
we got that in.
It's definitely going to take up your space.
Our three POA buddies over there, Bobby Valla and the Vanguard. We've seen the Vanguard. It takes up some shelf space. I believe you can put up to 8 characters in there. So
like that, yeah.
That you can and you can change the turrets and different colors, different situation. Comes with all kind of accessories where you've got blast effects, you've got shovels, you've got everything that you need for modern tactical warfare. And like I said, he's contributed to this, and I know he has more vehicles coming out. And again, I'm a fan of G.I. Joe. I essentially believe that G.I. Joe and Action Force are in the same universe. So I know there's one or the other. I'm a fan of whoever does good work. I think he does some of the best troop builders on the planet. And the Vanguard is, I like the fact that he did something that I think a lot of companies haven't done on the big scale. He did different variations in colors and situations. So if you want, a lot of times guys get these vehicles, and I've seen it with the G.I. Joe stuff, they'll do the Tiger Force versions of like the Dragonfly and certain other vehicles. He's giving you a palette where you don't need to do that. If you want a specific color, chances are he may have that. So he's really covered that. And I think that you get that from an independent the same way like Ace is able to do the same thing. You're able to speak to the fans directly, see what they want, and customize stuff towards that kind of mindset. It's a very intimate relationship with the fans, and I think that's why these independent vehicles are working out so well lately.
Yeah.
And then we've seen this at and also one of our members of the group, Rad, actually owns this, and that's the Rumble. And and first of all, when they say something over in Mexico, they say, "Hey, you're going to get it right after Comic-Con." You get it right after Comic-Con.
He literally got it the day after Comic-Con.
After Comic-Con. And look, this is again an impressive vehicle. We saw it.
The only issue I have with the Rumbler is that it was shiny. That's literally it. It was a very impressive car.
But if you know a customizer,
he
can actually fix that up for you. It's one. But again, look, if you're some of these vehicles, if you want to do like a great toy photography, that's the best thing about some of the independent vehicles. And there's some that's not on list that we got to be careful because we want to do things that are out. But if you look at like Uru Toys' Nightwolf, if you're a toy photographer, you're gonna want to use that. Our buddies over at the Odd Frog Entertainment, the Bandito, you're gonna want to. That's the best thing about the independent vehicles over some of the well-established company vehicles.
Yeah,
they're trying to lend themselves in where there's certain like parts and radio lights up, or like there's a dash that's kind of like really highly detailed. They're trying to make it for photographers, where I know you have a special lens that you use all the time that is actually able to see all of the inside details of the vehicles. Also, our good friend Sergeant Bananas did a great shot of an interior of a vehicle with a character in it. So this lends itself. I think the independents lead themselves better for toy photography because they are actually listening to their actual fan base, trying to deliver a lot more realism with their vehicles. So
Yeah.
we'll focus on that, and then, well, all right, like we were going to save this, but we'll kind of do it right now. We've decided to come up with our own awards of the year. We've seen other channels do their awards, so we're going to do the the Toy Box Awards. And look, we don't need to wait until the award show to give this out, but yeah, a shelf killing dragon. So the 2025 Hold My Beer Award winner is, of course, the Four Horsemen, because this dragon, we saw it at Toy Atlanta.
So
Like this, it's not. This is not a shelf dragon. This is a shelves dragon.
yeah, this is like this is like, do you have a spare table you can put it on, dragon?
Yes, exactly. It's like, dining room. It's like what they say that it's like the actual masterpiece version of a dining room table.
Yeah,
it's a centerpiece.
This is your centerpiece.
You like put two candles around them.
Which already, this too. Like, I still have my Rattler in the living room while I'm trying to figure out what to do in the office.
Yep.
And I'm like, man, I could just imagine if I had this dragon. It's even bigger than the Rattler.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So,
and not just the impressiveness of just having the wingspan and everything else. It's like, man, this box is going to be huge. I say that. Just like there's going to be many of FedEx employees or UPS or whomever is delivering this is going to be pissed. Especially, you got to take this upstairs.
Commander Bly, I will send you a picture. It's literally on my dining room table center.
Yeah, we come over there all the time. It's sitting right there, And actually, it's the one thing too. It's appropriate to be there. Actually, I don't know about anyone else's toy room, but it does work. So whenever somebody comes over your house, there's that dog food commercial where it's like, oh, you keep dog food in a refrigerator, and then the guy kicks out the chick or something, Well, in the same piece, it's like, oh, you keep a toy at the table. That's what it's like, yeah, it's not the right one.
Yeah.
So, but again, the 2025 Hold My Beer Award winner, because he does it better than everyone else, Four Horsemen, actually, Four Horsemen Studios. You guys, congratulations. From there, got a couple of updates right quick. We're going to run with, if you thought about the Sentinel, told you, hey, hang on, we got a little something. They are pushing it out. It was supposed to come in the first week of October. They're actually pushing off for the second week of December now. And I've heard some people even stated that they were getting it after the new year. So, which is never a bad thing at this moment. Like they've been dropping so many pre-orders and everything else. I don't mind this one pushing. I know I picked up one of these. I think did you pick up one or two of these?
Just one.
Okay, so yeah, I don't mind that. So that's good to push that out. And then from there, we jump on and say, did you pre-order this? So it's another segment that we're rolling out over here on Toy Box Chronicles. And Emperor Doom, again, a couple of weeks ago, we were stating that, we thought the retro cardback Doom was it. And then we saw this at the Fan Expo in Canada. And just the other day, yesterday, Tuesday, so we're on Wednesday, Tuesday, this actually came up for order. This was actually, I thought that this might be a problem ordering it, but it was steadily available on Hasbro Pulse. It was easy to get through, other than you've kind of got to jump through some hoops at Amazon, because sometimes you can like put in the search bars and everything, and it's just sometimes hard to track it down, even if you go to like Marvel Legends store. But this one's kind of easy. I was able to put in the cart. This was one, if you notice, we're going to talk about this on Friday. This price point went up to the new price point. In the early part of the day, it was at the standard $24.99 level. And then I guess they noticed that there was a mistake on that, and it jumped up price. But you'll save that for Friday night at 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Pixel Plastic Inc. We'll go over some of the new price hikes for these figures. And do you like it? Mr. Maddox, did you pre-order this?
I absolutely did. And as of right now, it is still available on Hasbro Pulse.
There you go. So if you're looking for and again, Dr. Britt and I talked about this. Chances are this is going to be one of many Dooms, because I know that we're going to have a Tony Stark version of one. But I like this one, man. I ordered it. I'm looking forward to it. It says that this will be dropping sometime in was it January? So we've got a little time to wait for Emperor Doom. So 2026 is already starting off with bang, a Sentinel and Doom. That's going to be interesting on those shelf space. And then from there, well, this is one of our favorite lines and everything. And low subjects, I will have to say we saw this at San Diego. They look nice. My major complaint is the price point on this. I think it's a tad bit high, but they added some new features to this and they kept the old flavors of the original. Great job, little subjects on it, because I was worried if the chrome was going to look good. The chrome looks fantastic. $39.99 for a motorcycle is a tad bit high for me, Mr. Maddox.
Yeah, these prices are kind of like just buy the originals.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's a bummer because I still did pre-order the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive Rhino, and I'll probably keep it. But yeah, these prices are, I don't know.
Like, I'll be honest with you. I think if they would said Rhino was $100, I'd be like, okay.
Well, yeah,
I could take that.
Because Rhino, like if Rhino is $100 is $129, right? What's up, Toy Mercs? Welcome in. If Rhino is $129, what is Outlaw gonna be?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
that, you're right.
That's my problem. Is like,
yeah.
So Rhino is $129. Okay, great. But Outlaw is like, it's like the tractor and the trailer, and then the trailer opens up and has everything else in it. Right? I have it right here.
And then also remember, there's Bulldog.
Well, yeah, but Bulldog is just the front. So like,
but it's Bulldog, a cab over. But I bet you it's the same price.
Yeah, it's a cab over. I think Bulldog would be $100, to be honest, because like, you know, the Rhino, agree they're too similar to the originals for such a price jump. Yeah, that's the point, right? Like the Condor being what it is,
yeah,
at $39 is honestly, you can get an original one for about $40.
And I'll tell you something too. I think if that was like 25, I would have been okay with it.
Yeah,
39. I'm like, and it's still the same size as the original. That's you look. Personally, I'm glad that they're actually bringing these in. There's a bunch of people out there that probably will not want to go to toy shows, hunt down some of the originals. Hopefully this gets this back into the main line. Maybe they do another animated series or something and they can bring this back properly and maybe design some newer vehicles and build upon the lore if we're lucky.
Yeah.
You know, but you know, I think this is the look. I was on Amazon. This did not sell out. It did not. The San Diego Comic-Con exclusive did sell out and when it was exclusively on Big Bad Toy Store in the original, because that came out right around the in July during Comic-Con. They actually were on Big Bad Toy Store, and then I guess they had a little time before they were able to jump onto Amazon Entertainment Earth. They just came on yesterday for Amazon Entertainment Earth. Look again. We were at the Low Subjects booth at San Diego. I was shocked at how well these looked because they just had rendered drawings, and those rendered drawings, you know, kind of had a suspectable. So, you know, hey man, I'm glad that it's back in the lore. I think the pricing's a little high. We'll see if this actually holds at this price or if we see some masks. Because once they start putting it on Amazon, you know what I do. They're not selling on Amazon. They will drop those prices quick.
Yeah, they will.
So, you know, from there, Mr. Maddox, you know, again, we're pushing kind of close to our buddies over at the Sarlacc. So, you know, but hey, guess what? You don't have to leave here. You can be transported over there. You just have to hang tight. But we got some upcoming events. Mr. Maddox, want to run down some of the events that we'll be doing and what we will be showcasing?
Yes, sir. So September 26th through the 28th is LA Comic-Con. It's a fantastic show to go to, but even more fantastic this year because at Vault 9 we are debuting the Potbelly Panda Crew along with our partners with Odd Frog Entertainment, Vonner Studios, Advent Comics, Legions Magazine is going to be there. Toy Mercs, they're in the chat. You'll be able to see it there, hang out, talk, chat, get everything out of the way that you need to get out of the way. But yeah, we are going to be debuting the Potbelly Pandas. You can go to potbellypandacrew.com. and check it out. But this is one of the prototypes. This is what it is. They are a blind box toy that stand at 3 inches. And we're doing about 150 Comic-Con exclusives that when you purchase them, when the Kickstarter launches, you will be getting invited to a special pledge that you cannot get if you did not purchase at LA Comic-Con. Okay. So while we're doing that on the West Coast, over there on the East Coast, our partners over at Uru Toys will be at one of our favorite shows, Joe Lanta, and that is going, unfortunately for us, because we can't make it, but that's going on at the same exact time. So if you can't get enough from LA Comic-Con, you can tune in over and check out Joe Lanta. We are live streaming LA Comic-Con, so you'll be able to see that. We're doing some pretty awesome things with that. And then because you had enough time to play around at the end of September, why not spend even more money right after and go to New York Comic-Con, which is steadily becoming one of the best conventions to go to, regardless of if you live in New York or not. And it is getting notoriety, the same as San Diego Comic-Con. And they have a plethora of awesomeness that is going to be displayed at New York Comic-Con. Yeah. So you have a lot that you can do. There's a lot of things that you can hang out and play with and see and do and experience. But one important thing at LA Comic-Con is we will have samples of the Potbelly Panda crew. We are going to have the Bandito is going to be live and in person at LA Comic-Con. Advent Comics is bringing a boatload. In fact, so much so that Advent Comics had to ship some stuff out here, which is great. Legion Magazine, they're going to be there with magazines, and Dead Man's gorgeous, lovely face will be there. Haven't got to actually hang out with him in person. Yeah, it's gonna be cool. I mean, man, like Vonner's gonna be there.
Yeah, the man, the myth, the legend, again in person.
Yeah, I know. Are you excited about that?
Oh, absolutely, man. I'm also too, and I'll just share this little bit too. Is that while we can't attend Joe Atlanta, we have scheduled the organizer of Joe Atlanta for an upcoming Box Chronicles. Keep yourselves informed with that. So we'll have him on. That's Brett, great guy. We met him. He's also the same gentleman that runs Toy Atlanta and several other conventions. So looking forward for that as well. And of course, you've seen our buddy Marcelo Uru Toys, again, the Nightwolf. So many great vehicles. The Bandito's going to be on display at LA Comic-Con. That's going to be amazing, man. It's going to be centerpiece. I can't wait to see that. Tony from Advent Comics bringing Southside trade paperback, and he's also going to have the vehicle, the Bandito, in one of the actual comics that he's bringing to the convention. So you'll be able to see the car, see the comic. That's crazy, man. And of course, you can get Potbelly Panda'd out, and we'll be having some merch and everything. So I've seen some brilliant pins, some great stickers, some t-shirts. Can't wait, man. Can't wait. I'm looking forward to it, man.
It's gonna be great. It's gonna be fun. So hang out. And as always, tonight has been sponsored by plasticnews.com. Don't forget the IQ. That's where you can get all of your news. It is validated and trusted sources. It's not made up. We promise. And we appreciate them. And then, as always, Holy Grail Toys. And yeah, man, look, it's gonna be a wild week. Yeah, there's more coming. I'm sure there's gonna be even more news by Friday.
Oh yeah.
But if you are into Star Wars, or you're curious about Star Wars and you have questions that you think that you can stump the Sarlacc Digest, well, hey, good luck. And if you can stump them, let me know, because I may send you something. But with that being said, we appreciate you. Thank you for hanging out with the sexiest podcast on Wednesday nights, Toy Box Chronicles. I'm your lovely, gorgeous host, Chet Maddox, along with Alexander Storm. You can also hear us on Action Figure Frequencies on Bandito 112 FM. So check it out. Stay tuned. Stay strong. Keep chasing that plastic dragon. And until next time, we'll be back in 2 and 2, like Chuck Woolery. Tell me if you know.